Hillary here to debate with the panel.
Excuse me?
You here to debate?
I sure am.
All right. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Scott, he, him.
There you go. What's your age, Scott?
46.
All right. Cool, Scott. Do you disagree with any of the topics on the board?
No, I can't say that I really disagree or agree. I was a left-leaning liberal all my life. It was up until the Trump assassination that I took a second look at Trump. I voted Trump. I'm 46, a gay male, and I voted Trump. And everybody's saying that I voted against my community, and maybe that's so. But a lot of things changed my mind from the moment that Donald Trump got assassinated, almost assassinated. I kept hearing how he was Hitler, how he was bad, how he was a threat to democracy. And then I followed Joe Biden for the last 4 years. I voted for Joe Biden. Joe Biden could articulate a sentence back when he became president, and I noticed a slow decline year by year. This year, he's terrible. I'm so glad that he got out of the race. But installing Kamala Harris, they said that they're for democracy, but when they installed Kamala Harris, I believe that was against democracy. They should have had an open primary.
Let me ask you a question. We'll just start here. What happens, according to both DNC and RNC rules, when an incumbent drops out? What happens to the delegate votes?
It typically goes to the vice president.
Nope. That's actually not true. The delegates get to put their votes wherever they want. Now, the reason why they put their votes with Harris is twofold. One, she was already in the Oval Office, so they wanted to make it a bit. They figured, she's already there. She already knows the job. But two, all the funding that they raised for the Harris-Biden campaign could be used if Harris was running. It could not be used if anybody else was running. So the delegates decided to put their votes towards Harris. You would consider this to be anti-democratic? How so?
No, I guess you're right there. I can't disagree with that comment. It's just a lot of things that happened over the course of this year. Kamala Harris really couldn't articulate her policies properly. I believe she really couldn't string sentences. There was a lot of word salad. Even the Democrats were saying, yes, she does a lot of word salad. They wanted her. They were just pushing her. Joe Biden basically, I think it was a fuck you to the Democrats when Joe Biden got out, he basically installed Kamala Harris and gave his support immediately to Kamala Harris.
Can I play something for you? Can I play something for you? If we're going to talk about word salad, I just want to play you something and get your take on it, okay?
Oh, listen, Donald Trump, listen, I'm not a Trumper. I don't have Trump T-shirts and Trump hats or any of that bullshit. I'm not in the Trump cult or the MAGA cult. I'm just an observer, and I don't have a lot going on in my life. I actually live in a nursing home. I'm very sick, but I just had so much time.
But you recognize the things you're saying that led you to vote for him, that you're saying are negative for Harris, he does as well. Like, Harris is a negative because she does word salad. Listen, he also does word salad. So
I didn't vote for Trump because morally I think he's a despicable person. Most politicians are despicable. Trump is a despicable human being. I liked who he picked for his vice presidential pick, but it's regardless. I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Trump as a fuck you to the Democrats, basically, because they got all these celebrities to really push Kamala. They paid celebrities. Nobody paid. Donald Trump didn't pay anybody.
That has happened. First of all, Alina,
and I'm going to say there's one thing. I want to ask you a question. There's one
Wait. I just want
voting
to address.
block
I want
in
to address that really quick.
Pennsylvania.
I want to address that really quick. The idea that like Republicans don't pay celebrities to endorse people is just not true.
Okay, it didn't happen this. I can tell you that it did not happen this time around.
Can you prove that it happened with
I
the
can tell
Democrats?
you,
Like, prove the Democrats actually paid celebrities.
yes. Do you know that Megan Thee Stallion got paid $4 million, $3.8 million. Lizzo got paid almost $5. Beyonce got paid $10 million for 3 minutes.
Okay,
$10 million.
Chris, I got it. Chris, I'll pull it up. So really quickly, I don't know if you can still see the screen because I know you're calling in, but
I can't.
We've fact checked. This has been fact checked. There is zero evidence that Harris campaign paid any celebrities for their endorsements.
Okay. That's just not true, though.
But
yeah,
because,
I do want to bring up.
My God. Okay.
I do want to bring up that like the idea that celebrities like haven't gotten involved in politics is bananas, especially if you're an older person. You should remember Rock the Vote from the early 2000s, where it was tons of celebrities. So.
But they didn't win for her because she was unwinnable. Kamala Harris was not a good candidate.
We're just going to keep moving the goalpost. Okay, cool. Also, who's Kamala? I mean, who's Kamala? I don't know who that is.
Kamala. My fault. Kamala.
I just want to address this idea that Harris was unwinnable is not true. What happened is the Democrats pushed too far to the right. And then the other piece of the puzzle is that white supremacists voted against a black woman. Right. This is why like the predominant votes that went to Donald Trump were white male and white female votes.
I agree. Listen, I agree that Donald Trump has white supremacists. I'm not denying that. I'm not.
But do you not understand how? Okay. Do you think it might be a little insulting to like me, a black man, to say, I know I voted in the white supremacists, but I wanted to say fuck you to the Democrats?
Well, listen, just because Donald, I don't believe Donald Trump's a white supremacist. He may have white supremacists in the MAGA movement, but he's not a white supremacist.
He's just friends with them.
He's been president for 4 years already, and they were throwing down our throats. He's Hitler. He's Hitler. He's not Hitler. He was president, and up until COVID, he actually didn't do that bad of a job. I mean, he's a mess when he talks because he can be ignorant. I get that, but me, I mean, I gave up I did soul searching this election period. I'm a gay male. My heart goes out to the gay youth, to the young non-binary. I don't understand the non-binary. I came out when I was in the 90s, so
non-binary
it was a different
strays, bro.
Time period for me. So this is a new generation. I'm not used to it, but still, my heart goes out to them. And my heart went out to them when Donald Trump won. I thought, oh, you know what? They're probably suffering. And yes, they probably are. But I'm saying I voted for Donald Trump because I believe these next 4 years are going to be different. It's going to be different than before. I think he's a different person, and I just think that people have to try to give him a chance. Try to unite the country, try to come together. He's not going to be Hitler. And what they were throwing that down our throats, and it made me sick to my stomach.
Oh my gosh,
I'm like, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong here.
Can we actually talk policies, right? Because all you're doing is just saying your personal syllogism. I'm trying to get down to the bottom of this, right? So let's just go ahead and get right to it, right? Because personal stories are nice.
Let's talk about the proxy wars that are going on.
All right, cool.
Let's talk about how. Okay, let's do that.
All right, let's do that. Foreign policy is my forte, right? So with that being said, Trump's not going to do anything productive on the world stage because of his unlimited support to Israel that's currently the group that just literally defeated the Assad in Syria, right, has been funded by Israel for the past 20 years. Trump hired Mike Huckabee, right, as their ambassador, and yeah, Trump probably will
Yeah, I
start
thought that was
another.
a bad pick. I thought
Yeah,
that was a bad pick.
so Trump. Okay, I literally let you talk for like 3 minutes, right? So I'm trying to get to the substance here. So Trump probably will start another war, just like he did his first term, except it's going to be in Syria this time because he doesn't have a backbone against Netanyahu.
Okay, well, Netanyahu for years has wanted us to go to war with Iran. He's wanted us in Syria for years. Netanyahu wants to expand the border. Now, I'm not pro or con. I'm not
Trump
pro
is.
or against Netanyahu. I think what's happening in Gaza is genocide. I absolutely believe that. But
Okay, let's keep it in
you
focus.
tell me what you think his policy is as far as, like, I want to talk about Ukraine first.
Okay, cool. Because
What do you think he's going to do with Ukraine?
Awesome. I have Trump's only plan of Ukraine. It was discussed at the G7 summit with Putin. His only plan for long-standing peace is to pressure Ukraine into giving up Crimea and surrounding areas, getting really close to Poland, and then when they step one foot in Poland, then the NATO countries are going to respond, and then we respond, and that causes World War III, and that's going to let them have another port to the Middle East. So yeah, Trump's foreign policy is pretty bad, just like it was the first term. So
yeah, but one thing that he's been running on, and one thing he says, and one thing that he's been talking about, and one thing that I'll say the right has been talking about. Again, I'm not a Republican. I've just been following this since July.
Can I get an answer to my question? Is that okay? Like, is Trump's plan okay to let Russia get so close to Poland that we literally start a war? Is that okay? Because that's his only plan.
No, I don't believe that's going to happen. I do not believe that's going to happen.
So here's the thing. Whenever you come across something, you Trump supporters or Trump voters, that you don't like about Trump, all you guys say is that, oh, he's not going to pass that. Then you guys just voted for a bunch of lies, right? Same thing with tariffs and mass deportation. The minute that you guys find out that it's bad, you're like, oh, he's not going to pass that.
Yeah, I know that if he passes tariffs, that prices are going to go up even more. I believe that. I didn't vote for Trump because of the price of eggs or because of the price of groceries. That wasn't my thing. Again, it was, I think that the Democrat, I called the debate you because I think that the Democrats threw in everybody's face, and let's just listen. I see videos all the time, right and left, at the rallies this summer.
Okay, we're getting into like
one thing I gotta say.
Let's talk substance. Like all you're doing, like literally the election's over. Like I'm hearing zero policies, right? Like what's Trump's healthcare policy? Like, can we get some substance?
He doesn't have one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Jovan, you can take this one. I really don't think that he has a point to make.
Yeah, I listen. It just seems weird that we're gonna vote in the rapist, the liar, the cheater, the fraudster, the guy that tried to overthrow the country, just so we could say F you to the Democrats when like actual policy positions are going to harm us, right? Like Canada's already talking about if he implements tariffs, they're gonna cut power for like 1.5 million Americans that receive their power from Canada. Mexico has already talked about they're just not gonna trade with us, which means we're gonna lose large amounts of agricultural trade. Like this idea that this stuff is going to be helpful is just not the case. But I do have messages from chat really quickly. Yemya said, guess stop being a pick-me bootlicker. Damn, that's crazy. And that was it for readable messages. But yeah, I just think to be like, I voted in the guy who has worse policies so I could screw the Democrats is just a... Yeah,
you don't hear that. Well, you do hear that every day. That's what the sad part is.
Maybe I'm on the wrong side of history. 4 years will tell. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of history this time, but 4 years will tell.
But we
But
have
I
4
have been,
years.
like I
We already
said,
have
I have
4
been
years to
left
tell.
leaning.
Right. We have 4 years
Right.
of a
And
failed presidency. So here's the thing. He's making the exact same mistakes he did the first time. Didn't have an economic plan going in. He said he was going to change the ACA day one. He doesn't have a healthcare plan 9 years later. He did tariffs the first time. It didn't work, right? He inherited Obama's economy and took systematic steps to unravel it. And he said he was going to drain the swamp. Instead, he's hiring a bunch of unqualified people. So yeah, nothing changes.
he did.
Wait, I'm curious. Are you in a long-term facility that's funded by Medicare?
I am.
You know they want to
Ooh.
cut Medicare, right? And Medicaid?
No, that's a left-leaning talking point. No, they don't.
No, it was in the GOP proposed budget for 2025.
Right.
It was in the budget
It's
that
not
they
gonna
put
happen.
into
It's not going to happen. They said this.
it
they
wasn't
said this
it
8
wouldn't
years
have
ago that he
happened.
was
Hold
gonna
on,
do
hold
that.
on. It wouldn't have happened if we had control of if Democrats had control of the Congress or the Senate. But now that they have control of the Congress and Senate, they can absolutely push it through when they approve the budget.
Sir, I have a genuine question.
Also, good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, brother. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, man.
All right. Sir, I have a genuine question. Is owning the libs going to feed you?
What the hell?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Is owning the libs going to feed you?
No.
Think about
it's
what
not.
I just think about. No. I want you to think about what I just said.
I understand what you're
owning-
saying.
Okay, is owning the libs going to feed you?
I'm not trying to own the libs.
Wait. Just answer the question. Is owning the libs?
I already answered it. I said no. I understand the question. No, it's not going to feed me.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Because we're having a civil conversation here. Is owning the libs going to pay your bills?
No.
Okay. Is owning the libs going to fill your gas tank?
No.
Okay. So can I ask you a serious question?
Go ahead.
Why do you keep voting against your own best interests, sir?
Maybe I did. I said this.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
I did. Maybe I'm going to be on the wrong side of history in 4 years. But there was a lot leading up that just wasn't making sense to me. And it didn't make sense to a lot of other people. I'm not the only non-straight male that voted for Donald Trump. They wanted to say that he was.
Sir.
They wanted to say what kind of person. Listen, Kamala Harris couldn't string two sentences together. Does Donald Trump make sense sometimes when he talks? No. But she was an idiot. She got elevated to her position. Hold on, please. She got elevated throughout her entire career by.
Sir, no.
Just misogyny.
Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Because I'm going to do something for you that I think in long term we should have done for everyone that thinks like you. But I'm going to do something for you and I'm going to show you something. Was Kamala Harris a prosecutor?
Yes.
You don't become a prosecutor without a law degree, correct?
True.
Okay. So to be a prosecutor, which is something that Kamala Harris, a job she did have, she had to go to law school, correct?
True. But
okay.
Wait, May I interrupt you?
No, sir.
Okay.
You were the one that laid this foundation. So all I'm doing is putting a house on top of it, okay?
Okay, sure.
Now, Now, was she not the Attorney General for California?
She was.
Okay. So to be the Attorney General for an entire state, that means, once again, you have to be qualified and have law degrees and show promise as being a attorney, correct?
Typically, yes.
Okay. Now, she was a senator from the state of California, the largest state in the union. Okay. Would you not have to have some level of intelligence to be a senator?
Considering that the Republicans got George Santos, maybe. George Santos was a wreck.
Okay.
He was a liar, and he got to the Senate.
Okay, he got to the Congress, but do you really want to compare George Santos to Kamala Harris? I really want you to think about it. Do you want to compare the two?
No, I don't want to compare the two.
Okay. So she's also the sitting vice president of the United States right now, correct?
True.
Okay. So you said she couldn't string two sentences together. Look at who you actually voted for. A guy, and all of this I'm telling you is absolutely true. You can look this up. A guy whose grades were so bad that he sued to make sure no one ever saw them. Okay? He talks about going to the Wharton School of Business all the time. He talks about, I went to the Wharton School of Business. If that's the case, how come no one's ever seen his grades? Now, why are you staying there? I want you to think about this. This is a man who, when given the reins of a company his father put together and gave him millions of dollars to run, he took the stock price from $35 to 17 cents with his need to sell things in different places that, quite frankly, had nothing to do with real estate. He sold steaks at the Sharper Image. He sold water. He sold mobile phones and airlines and things of that nature. Not real estate, which is what his father made money in. He took the stock price of his own company from $35 a share to 17 cents a share, which is why they removed him from the CEO of his own company. He sold vodka and he doesn't drink. He sold water that he said was bottles from some spring, and it was actually somebody's toilet in Patterson, New Jersey. Okay? This man.
Don't forget he sold steaks too.
No, sir. You did say that Kamala Harris can't string two sentences together. Donald Trump praised Hannibal Lecter. Donald Trump said that windmills killed whales. Donald Trump said that George Washington took over the airports in 1776. Donald Trump said that Haitians were eating dogs and cats. None of this is true. None of this is true. None of it. Donald Trump said that he would solve ISIS in a week because he knows more than generals. Donald Trump has never served in the military. Donald Trump thimble-flied and fucked around the entire time. This man, since 2016, has not said one coherent thing that makes any sense whatsoever. He said that he would much rather get eaten by a shark than die by electricity from an electric boat. This man has made more gaffes, guffaws, and flat out lies. And I want you to understand, the Wall Street Journal, a conservative newspaper, did a count of his first administration. He told over 35,000 lies. He sold tennis shoes. He sold NFTs. He sold a Bible that has the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and God Bless the USA lyrics in the middle of it, which, from what I understand, is a desecration of the Bible to begin with. And by the way, during that constitutional thing, he took out amendments 11 through 20 something. But you're saying that Kamala Harris fumbles around and can't put two sentences together. Donald Trump hasn't put a good plan together in 9 years. So explain to me how you looked at this. And I'm assuming you're intelligent. I'm not going to call you dumb, so I'm assuming you're intelligent. You looked at this. You looked at the choices sitting in front of you. You realized one was telling you he was going to tear your life apart as you know it. The other one was going to be a middle-of-the-road centrist Democrat, which is what we always get. And you said that you would rather have the guy who tells you, I'm going to ruin your life, but you're going to love it because you're going to be sitting in your gold shoes with your NFTs and a hat that you've been wearing since 2015, and you picked him over the entire whole intelligent woman. Can you please explain to me why you did that?
Okay. I'm not going to disagree with a lot of what you said, because a lot of what you said is true. Absolutely. I know I've watched both CNN. I'm not, honestly, I don't watch Fox News. I don't. I get my news from podcasts and from different sources. I don't watch CNN or SP, but I see I see their talking points every day come up on my screen from both left and both right. I was told that Kamala Harris was with Willie Brown of the Bear, and she was a side piece of his, and he elevated her. And then she just kept getting elevated. I heard that she really didn't, from lawyers that were with her in the prosecuting office, that she really didn't do that much work, and that she really wasn't part. She would put her name on things, but really wasn't part of a lot of what was going on. So she was elevated when she shouldn't have been elevated. She didn't have the qualifications. That's what I heard. I'm not saying that
you heard this.
Listen,
Wait.
I'm not a MAGA person here trying to
Sir,
I
have
think
never
you
said
can
that
tell
you were.
that I'm not your typical MAGA person. I'm not.
Sir,
But,
I would never. Listen. I don't know you from a can of paint. This is not my space.
of course.
So I'm not going to come in and think that you would actually, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're MAGA. I don't think you're anything. I know that you did vote for Trump because you said so. What I am saying is this, and let's start with the Willie Brown thing. Let's just get that out in the open, shall we? She was single.
Go ahead.
He was separated. The end. They could have had passionate lovemaking on top of a Bugatti. It's still, she was single. He was separated. Now, again, if we're talking about character, Donald Trump cheated on his first wife with his second wife. Donald Trump cheated on his second wife with his third wife. Donald Trump cheated on his third wife with a porn actress, a Playboy bunny, and anybody else he could get his hands on. Why is she being held to a standard when it comes to her sex life that we're not holding the guy who everybody swears up and down is a Christian man who believes in family values? That's number one. Number two, you heard from podcasts, from lawyers saying this, that, and the third. Well, guess what? I heard that she actually did more things than we even talk about. I heard that. I heard that in addition to, I'm a prosecutor, but let me come up with a program that stops recidivism. Recidivism being you get out, you do a crime, you go in, you get out, you do a crime, and you end up going back in. That is recidivism. She came up with a plan to where nonviolent drug offenders could actually get back into society and not have to worry about going back in. She came up with this plan not only as a prosecutor, but as an attorney general. There is concrete evidence that she has actually done more work than you've heard, quote unquote, of. Meanwhile, the guy you actually did vote for has literally he has no economic policy. He has no healthcare policy. He has no foreign policy. And he had the office for 4 years before. None of the stuff that I'm saying to you is new. This is not, oh wow, he's just coming up with new stuff. No, this is Donald Trump himself. He's had the job before. It's like you literally elected a guy who's done the. You go to you take your car to an automotive place to get fixed. They fuck up every single thing in your car. Everything. The seats are fucked up. The windows are fucked up. The doors are fucked up. You when you turn the key, the trunk opens. When you start the car, your carburetor falls out. Fucked up your car. You go and get it fixed. It comes time for you to get an oil change for your car. You have a person over here who is oil change qualified. She has certifications on the wall of being the greatest person ever to change oil. And there's the guy that fucked your car up the first time, and you take your car right back to him? I mean, sir, can you make that make sense for me? I'm not calling you MAGA. I'm not saying you're MAGA or anything, but I'm genuinely asking, again, how do you fucking go back to a guy that you know screwed you the first time?
I also really quickly, I just want to mention as well, like when we keep saying that we have this data for Trump's presidency, we do. He cost us 250,000 jobs with his trade war in China. Farms went out of business, and I think farm bankruptcies rose 20% because of his trade war with China, because of his deal with OPEC. Gas prices shot through the roof and we're still fairly high up until the end of 2023. Like we know that he messed up the housing market by deregulating the housing market. Like this idea that we don't have all of this evidence to tell us that Trump was a bad president is just ridiculous.
Not to mention,
here's my thing.
And this
I mentioned, hold on, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Please,
go ahead.
Like you went on for a couple minutes. Now let me respond with something. What you're saying is right. What you're saying is true. I would not. Maybe I picked the wrong person to fix my car, but I want to say something that's very serious. What did I tell you that I was when I first came on? I told you that I was a 46-year-old gay male. There's one thing that I don't agree with at all. My heart goes out to these children, but there is a lot of shit that goes on. There's a lot of really sinister shit that goes on where these kids are being indoctrinated very young, very early. I don't agree with it. And school boards are not giving. School boards are not giving, and these school boards are basically in most Dem-run cities, are not giving the parents the knowledge that their child is saying that they're trans in school. They're hiding things from parents. Just the fact that it's okay for if my son was 7 years old to start hormone replacement therapy. And the transition.
You can stop there because you're
that is nuts.
Stop now. Stop
Hold
now.
on, really quickly. Laney, you got the echo. You're gonna have the.
Misinformation.
Laney, you're gonna have the echo. I'm sorry, friend.
Okay, got it.
But okay. Hold on, Thomas. I want to let Laney respond real quickly because Laney is a part of this community.
Yeah, but I had to vote against that. I had to vote against that.
You
with
voted
my heart.
against a lie.
I did.
And I need you to hear it, okay? Now, I
Say that
am
again.
49. I am 49 years old. So I got a few years on you. And I'm trans. I'm non-binary, in fact. That thing you said you don't understand. So you voted based on mass hysteria. Do you think that anyone is going on hormones at 7 years old? I want you to think real fucking hard about that.
No.
Okay, so why did you just say it?
But they're doing it young.
No, okay. When?
In their early
And
teens.
Why?
Because they're in the wrong body.
That is not what being trans even is. Would you like to understand what it is?
Lainey, really quickly, Warrior Princess did donate to remove the guest, but I'll let you talk and as much as you want. And
Okay.
So go ahead, Lainey.
Because I knew from 30 seconds into your call that it was going to go here. Would you like to actually understand what trans people are? Because you don't understand it.
So you're not saying that you were born into the wrong body?
No. I was born into my body. My body happened to be incongruent with my gender, which is my neurological sex. Right? That is my identity, my innate sense of self. Okay? It is not what I identify as. It is just what I am. Right? So a trans person's gender is incongruent to their phenotypic sex. That's it. Right? That's what trans means. It means across from. Right? So every single person begins to understand their gender between 3 and 7. For a cisgender person like yourself, that's not all that confusing because everyone called you a boy, right? When you were born, they called you a boy. The doctor said it's a boy, right? And they put an M on the birth certificate, and everybody treated you like a boy, right? And when you grew up and you began to understand the difference between girls and boys, the difference between men and women, you saw those general categories and you said, yeah, like that makes sense, right? You didn't have to even think about it. It was pretty easy peasy for you. But for me, growing up in the 80s, in the South, in an evangelical household, I knew I wasn't a boy. I knew that didn't make any sense to me. I didn't understand why boys acted the way they acted. None of it made sense. And I related much more with feminine people, with my aunts, with my girl cousins, right? I sat in the kitchen with them when they were cooking and helped with that while the boys were outside roughhousing and standing around the barbecue, right? It's just how I was. I got told that I was a girl constantly. Stop being a girl, in fact. It was physically and verbally repressed in me so that by the time I was a teen and natal puberty was torturing me, I couldn't say anything about it. I had to suffer in silence. So what I want, is for the kids like me to not be ignored, to be heard. And if their gender dysphoria, that incongruence can cause an anxiety called gender dysphoria, or a condition called gender dysphoria, which causes anxiety, can cause depression, and can cause self-harm, and beyond that. And I'm sure you know what I mean. So there's about 300,000 trans kids in America, in the US. About 42,000 of those get a gender dysphoria diagnosis. And only 1,390, that's like 0.46% of the 300,000 actually go on puberty blockers because their dysphoria is so bad that it saves their life. It gives them more time. That's literally what puberty blockers do, gives them more time. And that only happens at Tanner's stage 2 of puberty, which is usually around 12 years of age. That gives them a couple more years. So that then, if they go on to cross-sex hormones, right, they will not have to go through the natal puberty and then undo all that shit when they turn 18 and beyond for the next decade or whatever. They won't have to go through expensive and extremely painful hair removal or double mastectomies or all that shit. But you decided to believe the $215 million anti-trans ad campaign that happened during this election cycle. And you decided to make that decision for the families of trans kids.
Yeah,
Instead
but
of
listen,
allowing
I
them,
didn't see
instead
these.
of shut the fuck
see
up.
these anti-trans agendas.
Okay,
I didn't
well, you
see
saw
any of these
something,
ads.
right? Because you said you were watching the right and the left, and you listened to the right, Mr. Left-leaning liberal. You bought the
I am a
lie
left-leaning
that they
liberal.
started in 2015. Do you know why they started the
I admitted
anti-trans
that
right
I'm
in
wrong.
2015?
I
Shut up.
admitted that I could be wrong here.
You are very wrong. You know why they started the anti-trans campaign with the first bathroom bill in 2016? Do you know why they started it? Heritage Foundation, American Principles Project, all those like family
I've
council
heard of the Heritage
bullshits.
Foundation, yeah.
Yeah, that's one. There were a dozen of them that were emailing back and forth starting in 2015. Do you know why it was 2015? Because they lost the fight on GAY marriage. So you got your rights, and then they decided to pick on us, and you said, yeah, F them. I got mine.
Sir, do you understand what Lainey is trying to tell you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, there is a, as a gay man, you should know this. There is a level of selfishness. There is a strong level of selfishness that happens when you only think of you. When I vote, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm a 52 going on 53-year-old black man. I've been a black man my entire life. I have been voting since I was 18 years old, but I have never voted for just me. I can't vote for just me. Black women are being mistreated at work. They're being mistreated at schools. They're being mistreated in their homes and things of that nature. So when I vote, I have to vote for them. I have children that will live in this world long after I'm gone. So I have to vote for them. I vote for the older people who had dogs sicked on them and water hoses poured on them and had their heads cracked open, like John Lewis on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I vote as a black man for the black community, but that's not the only place that I go. I have trans friends who I love. Trans Gretchen is like my sister. Not like my sister. She is my sister. She is my sister, and I love her. And she will be the first person to tell you she has one sibling, and her and I have a better relationship as brother and sister than she has with her own sister. I vote for the trans community because I care about Gretchen. I care about Jessica, who's another good trans friend of mine.
I didn't think of this. I'll be honest, but I'm going to be honest with you.
But wait a minute,
I did
sir.
not think of all this before I voted.
And that's the thing, sir. That's the thing. As a gay man in America, you understand that it's called the LGBTQIA plus. G is your designation. Laney's designation is non-binary and trans, but there's still that is still a part of your community, sir. That is still a part of your community. What I have found, and the most annoying thing as a cisgendered black man watching this happen, is how quickly gay men, especially gay white men, want to chop off the T because it's inconvenient, because, oh my goodness, they're grooming children. They said the same thing about you, sir. In the 80s, people, evangelical Christian conservatives, said the exact same thing about you. Why would you vote singularly, knowing damn well that it was only 20 years ago where they were saying the same thing about you, and some of them still say the same thing about you? Lainey is your sister. Lainey is your sister in this fight, Lainey is, they are your sister in this fight. Why would you vote against them? Because when you vote against them, do you not think they won't come for you? If I voted singularly, as just I'm a black man, I'm gonna vote for what's mine. Do I think that what happens to other black people is not going to eventually happen to me? Sir, you betrayed the community that gave you the rights that you have. When you turned your back on your trans brothers and sisters, when you turned your back on your non-binary brothers and sisters, you think that what is coming for them is not going to eventually come for you. Please understand, sir. They don't like you either.
I just want to, I got to be so honest. When you said guest, when you specifically said, I didn't think about all of that before I voted, that's like the biggest smack in the face to like every marginalized community, right? Like the fact that you didn't think about these things that are negatively affecting all of these groups. Like I just got to be honest. That's, you can respond to this, but that's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I called in to have a debate. We've had a debate. I'm going to walk away today knowing and feeling a different way than I did before I even called into the show, because now I'm feeling ashamed, and I think that what I did was probably the worst decision I ever made now, because I wasn't. I really just did a selfish thing in thinking for myself when I voted this time, and I didn't think of anybody else, anybody.
And
Listen,
the irony is that as a disabled GAY man, you harmed yourself too.
Yeah, look, I'm glad that you can self-reflect on this, right? I'm glad that you can recognize that, like,
Yeah, I think this was a good portion to your show today, because I mean, it wasn't like you turned to MAGA or anything. Again, I wasn't MAGA. I'm not like a Trump cultist or anything like that. I made I don't know what made me make the decision that I made. I don't know if it was influencers or the wrong people that I was getting my information from, but just yeah. Now I know that when you vote, I mean, I voted selfishly. I voted for, you know what? I voted because I had more money when I wasn't. I've been disabled for 12 years, and it's only the last year that I've been living in a nursing home. And before, when Donald Trump was president, I remember just having more money in my pocket and different things like that. So, like, I did vote selfishly this time. I did, and I know that that's
And
probably the
sadly,
worst
sir,
thing that I could do. I mean, I'm walking away today ashamed of myself. So, I mean,
I need you to understand something, sir. Um, you have been fed a lie since birth, and the lie has been called rugged individualism. That you get through this world on your own 2 feet with your 2 hands and your merit. America has never been a meritocracy, sir. It never has been. There have been people who have had to fight, literally fight, for everything that they have ever been given. You should know this as a gay man. You should understand that if your rights had to be adjudicated by the Supreme Court, you have had to fight for them. I understand there is history in me just voting, because there are people in my family who died without that right to do so. So I do not take voting flippantly. I don't take voting stupidly. I don't do any of that, because I know that I would betray the people who bled, who died, who marched, who were treated like shit. They were called every name in the book just to be able for me to be able to vote today. You are part of a marginalized community, sir. No matter how much money you have in your pocket, no matter how nice your car or nice your house is, you are a gay man in America. And I'm sorry, sir, they don't like you. The same people who fed you the lie that people were indoctrinating and grooming and things of that nature, the same people that sold you that lie are the same people that don't like you, even though they sold it to you. As a black man, I hear all the time, well, black women do this and black women do that. I'm never going to believe that. I know far too many black women who are intelligent, smart, funny, in other words, human beings. for me to ever believe a lie like that. And the reason that I make sure not to believe those lies is because when I vote, I don't vote singularly. You are part of a collective, sir. The LGBTQIA plus is your family. Whether you agree with them, whether you disagree with them, that is perfectly fine, but you are still a part of the LGBTQIA plus. And every letter in that, the plus sign in that, it means something. So when you vote, you cannot vote with the rugged individualism because, quite frankly, nobody gets through this world alone. Right now, you are sitting in a nursing home and there are people taking care of you. In other words, you're not a rugged individual. You are somebody that needs help, and there are people that are trying to help you. The same thing should apply when you vote. The same thing should apply when you protest. The same thing should apply when you stand up, not just for your rights, but for the rights of the LGBTQIA plus. You should get to know your trans brothers and sisters. You should get to understand your non-binary brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, what have you. You should get to know them because they are a part of the fight that you are in as a member of a marginalized community. I get it. Shame is going to hurt. I understand it. It's going to be ugly. You're going to have to walk this one off. But this is what you should learn from this. Everything you've ever been taught is a lie. And it is time for you to fix that. You need to seriously start to reassess the world that you think you have lived in, the things that you have been taught, and who taught them to you. I had to deconstruct. I am not a rugged individual. I'm a member of a collective. Whether it's the Villains Guild or the Black community, I am part of a collective. And when I vote, when I protest, when I stand up for what I believe in, I must stand up for all of them. Black folks, gay folks, trans folks, white, poor white working class people, Hispanics and Spanish speaking people, Native and indigenous people, because America is not a meritocracy. America is not rugged individualism. America is a collective. And you must learn that, sir. You must learn that.
I have learned it. Again, I've been left leaning my whole life. It's just, I don't have any excuse for this year, really. And who
All
was
right,
I speaking with before? Who was on the line before that kind of educated me a little bit?
Laney.
That's me, Lainey.
Laney.
I go by Defense
I'm
Trans.
sorry. I'm sorry, Laney.
I appreciate you listening. I'll say that.
Yeah, of course.
All right, we're gonna move on now. So thank you for calling in.
Listen, thank you. And thank you for the lesson.
All right, you have a good one. Just a reminder, chat.